Hi everyone, I wanted to talk about some of the barriers to being present peacefully with somebody else, and how that can kind of cause harm for others and actually block them from fully feeling their emotions around something they're going through. I hear from my clients sometimes the frustration, the anger and the resentment because someone wasn't able to handle their own restlessness and worry around what was happening with that loved one, and they were not able to provide the space or the presence. That's why a lot of clients come to therapy, because they don't have anyone in their lives who can do that for them. And so the therapist is able to do that if they can cultivate that space and that environment for the client. But if you have a loved one who's going through things, it's really important to know what the barriers are to you being present with them peacefully. And some of those is, one of the ones I want to talk about is restlessness and worry. It is also called a hindrance in Buddha's teachings. And it's a hindrance not just to ourselves to be able to access the peace, but it's a hindrance in our relationships, because when we are worried and we are fearful and restless, the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to fix things for our loved ones. We may go and engage in toxic positivity. We may give advice that they are not ready to hear just yet, because they haven't had the opportunity to process their emotions around these things. And peaceful presence and dealing with our own restlessness and worry helps to give them space to process all of those emotions. It could be anger, it could be shame, it could be guilt, it could be fear, worry for them. And they need space to just get curious about it, or even vent it out sometimes first. And then, we have to pick the right timing to offer wisdom or advice. We may not offer it straight away, and being very cognizant about where we're coming from, because if we're coming from a fearful place, the other person's going to sense that straight away and just shut down. And that could look like us being overprotective, giving advice too soon and too early. It could be what we call toxic positivity, where it's like, but look at the bright side, look at the silver lining of this, at least you blah blah blah, fill in the blanks, or you should be grateful for what you have. I mean, those are what I call bypassing. It doesn't help the other person to process their emotions. It bypasses emotions. And remember, emotions are the underlying factor why we do things in the first place in every situation. We do it usually to find joy or peace, or we do things from a place of anger or resentment or fear, and those are the driving forces underneath our actions a lot of times. So we do need space for them in a non-judgmental way, so then later on, there is then room for advice or guidance or wisdom. But the first point of call is not wisdom. The first point of call is presence, and we need to look at the barriers to presence. One of mine is personally restlessness and worry. For others, it might be something else that is keeping them from being present. But it's a hindrance, and it will affect our relationships. So I hope that helps.